Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, friend. I really do hope that, and welcome back to the studio and to Chelsea news, man, here in this January transfer window, where Chelsea are looking to make serious waves in the market. Of course, looking like they will close this deal for Joao Felix, which is a sensational high-profile transfer, no matter what your opinion on it is. Chelsea is still looking to sign the likes of Arsene Zakarin. We're going to speak about some of his quotes today in reference to Joao Felix as well, which is quite interesting. Chelsea reportedly reigniting the interest for Lavia, the, of course, Southampton young midfielder from the Manchester City Academy. Joao Felix has been spotted on his way to London as well. All sorts of things to get into. And Chelsea, midfielders and right-backs. Still looking at right-backs. Of course, we're looking at a striker as well. Thuram of Borussia Mönchengladbach, the France striker, is someone that we've been looking at. And as stories progress, I will react to all of them here, if I can. So make sure, when you subscribe, you turn on that bell notifications icon so you do not miss any information regarding the Chelsea transfer window. Or at least information that I feel is worthy speaking on, and hopefully you feel the same. So, Joao Felix has been spotted leaving so he can go to London. A video, Joao Felix spotted leaving for London to finalise Chelsea transfer, caught offside. Have published this. It's from El Chiringuito TV, that kind of silly, memeable Spanish TV show, which I believe cover like the top Spanish clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid as well. They've posted a video of Joao Felix being driven, chauffeured, heading towards London for his big transfer. So let's have a couple of words on Joao Felix. Of course, I reacted yesterday initially to the transfer with a later upload. It is seemingly a opportunism transfer. Now, there is reports coming out from Spain, actually, that Joao Felix will commit to a new deal with Atletico Madrid, which makes me raise my eyebrow because he's clearly not happy there. But maybe it's something to do with the conditions of him being allowed to leave and play somewhere else for a bit. And there is no option to buy, so it's very much them protecting the value of their very expensive asset and just letting him go somewhere and play for a bit. And seemingly that is Chelsea. Now, that might upset a few people. It might do, because you might be thinking, oh, what's the point? It's pointless then. But the truth is, it is it's a marriage of convenience. He gets a chance to play in a different side, playing, I'm assuming, in a preferred role as opposed to being moved all over the gaff under Simeone. In a team that wants to play with the ball, regardless of us being 10th, we do like to have the ball, Chelsea. And, from Atletico point of view, they gain value, either they sell him or, his profile raises and whatever. And with Chelsea, we solve the problems of Raheem Sterling and Pulisic injured, and kind of, to a degree, a lack of creativity. He does have the ability to create, Joao Felix. And if it is just the 6-month loan and nothing else, he ties you over until the arrival of Christopher Nkunku. So it makes sense, because he is coming in the summer and he is a sort of fluidy attacker as well. Maybe more of a sort of like, I don't know, is he maybe more direct than Joao Felix? Certainly his numbers have been excellent in the last 2 seasons in Nkunku. So ties you over till that, and it is risky because it's only 6 months, and is he even going to adapt to the league and all that? Can he speak English? Can he speak to his teammates? Is he going to know? Is it going to work? Is it going to be an expensive mistake? But the truth is, the fact how Chelsea managed to negotiate the price to half what the original loan fee and wages was from Atletico Madrid, because of all that, it was good. I think it's good. Good. So I'm going to reference some quotes now from a Twitter account, a reporter at HARChoff, talking about quotes from Arsene Zakarin, of course, the young Russian attacking creative midfielder that we've spoken about here before on the channel, compared to the likes of the great Kevin De Bruyne. in terms of his play style. A central midfielder, creative. So he was interviewed, and this is coming from via Sport Express. He was interviewed and asked about the move from Joao Felix going to Chelsea, and would that affect him? And he goes, he says, like, what, 111 million? No, it's a loan. We've already discussed everything with him, as in like Joao Felix, sort of joking and laughing. He's on the left and I'm in the centre. So he's saying, look, we'll play together. I'll play as like a central Kevin De Bruyne style creative. He'll play a bit more forwards on the left as a sort of more creative inverted winger. And Chelsea will start scoring goals again. Creativity will be back to Stamford Bridge. And someone will be knocking in the goals as well. Whether it's David Datro Fofana or other people. I want to see it, and I think I deserve. Look, it's worth talking about Arsene Sakarin, because this is a player we tried to get in the summer, and this is a player that we always looked like we were going to try and get this January transfer window. I think there was geopolitical issues because he is Russian maybe, and his visa, or he needs to change his nationality. They were looking at changing his passport. Another quote from the same Twitter account, he's been speaking on a YouTube channel, Arsene, and he said this regarding Chelsea. What and how it will be, I can't say. I can't say that I have a medical, then a plane flight in 2 hours. Therefore, I don't know. I'm preparing for the season at Dinamo currently, but he wants to go to Chelsea. He'd spoken a lot about the Chelsea move to media, to friends on social media. It does look like he's completely had his heart set on Chelsea. He wants to go, and if there's any chance for him that he can get this transfer over the line in this January transfer window, he will want and look to do it. And they're literally, as I look on the screen now, Fabrizio Romano has also tweeted out about Arsene Sakarin and Chelsea talks, and he says this: we are already solving this. We know with the club, agents, what and how it will be. So it's sort of a change of the same outgoings, but it's a change of the same quotes there. Basically, he would be a good signing. It'd be very, very cheap. I think it'd probably be like, I can't remember, certainly under 20 million, between 10 and 20 million euros. He's very young still. I believe he's 19, but he's very, very highly rated talent. And Dinamo would certainly be happy with the transfer fee of whatever, let's say 15 million for a teenager of theirs. They'll be very, very happy with that revenue. But that would worry so far. Let's see if we can do this. We've got Benoit Badiashile, the left-footed centre-back. We've got Andre Santos, the Brazilian teenage midfielder. Although I think he might do something similar like Cesare Caside and play in the development team and maybe, sit on the bench for certain games or something like that. That's what I assume for the moment. Especially being Brazilian, it will need to bed into the culture, the language and stuff. David Datro Fofana, the 20-year-old Ivorian striker, Didier Drogba regen. We're hoping. He looks like he'll be... They might loan him, but the fact that he speaks English, the fact that he's 20 and he's like big and looks like he'll get amongst us, and he loves Chelsea. He is a Chelsea fan. I have a feeling there's a chance Datro Fofana might hang around. I mean, why not? Especially considering this whole Aubameyang peculiar scenario. So that is those three. Looks like Joao Felix is over the line. Fourth, it looks like that. Chelsea are trying to sign a backup right back for Reece James, which would be 5. And then, of course, we're looking to sign a midfielder, which would make 6. So let's talk about that. Graham Bailey of 90 Min is writing about the Southampton midfielder Romeo Lavia, who of course we tried to sign in the summer. Chelsea are ready to reignite their interest in the Southampton midfielder Romeo Lavia this month, 90 Min understands. Lavia joined Southampton from Manchester City in July, but was the subject of serious interest from Chelsea later in the same transfer window, which is mental. With the Blues seeing a late bid for the 19-year-old Belgian rejected. Since then... and also, by the way, the truth of that bid was muddied. They said we bid £50 million for him. So they bought him in a transfer window for like nothing. And then we said, can we have him for 50 million? Which apparently I believe Matt Law said it was nonsense. Since then, Chelsea have frustrated Southampton with the acquisition of their chief of recruitment, Joe Shields. Yeah, not just you, Southampton. Have a word with Brighton as well, they hate us. Expected to start as the Blues co-director of recruitment and talent at the end of this month. Shields was part of the City team that initially signed Lavia in 2020 before bringing him to St Mary's last summer. Even outside of Shields, Chelsea's new transfer team are huge fans of Lavia, and sources have confirmed that the 90 min, that already a January bid is under consideration. Huge. As their stance in the summer, Southampton are determined to keep hold of Lavia and are reluctant to do business with Chelsea because of their pursuit of Shields. Making friends all over the gaff, Chelsea Football Club. Although the Saints are expected to listen to offers if the price is right. It's understood that as much as £50 million, there's that figure again, may be needed to convince Southampton to part ways with Lavia as they plan their own January spending spree in a bid to stave off relegation. I think Southampton are probably just doomed for relegation. They look terrible. They do. And that's coming from a Chelsea fan and how we've been playing recently. Southampton currently sit at the bottom of the Premier League table after 18 games and are keen to spend big to bolster Nathan Jones' squad. So they're looking like they could make alternatives as well. Romeo Lavia, 19-year-old central midfielder. I'm not going to pretend like I know loads about him. Just that our recruitment team likes him and we went in for him before. Midfield's great. You know, are we going to sign Dennis Zakaria on a full transfer or a permanent rather? Apparently we have the opportunity to do that for around 22 to 25 million pounds for a 25-year-old who is playing well in the Chelsea midfield. It kind of seems like a no-brainer. It's like over 10 million pounds cheaper than Danny Drinkwater. Deep that. But then again, Zakaria is injury prone. He does fluctuate in form, and would you end up buying him and then, you know, buying better midfielders and then have him sit on the bench and thinking like, why do we buy Lavia? You know, not Lavia, excuse me. Why do we buy Zakaria? And then, you know, generally we should be playing Hall in midfield. He's been one of our better performers of late. We've been playing him as a left back, but he is a midfielder. You know, I saw a highlighted video on Twitter, a great example of as we were getting battered by City last time out. His best moment was when he just took the ball in midfield and started dribbling around people in the centre of the park. Because he's a midfielder, he wants to go into the midfield. Yeah. Tricky. I am deferring to the supposedly expert knowledge of our new recruitment team. And if they want Romeo Lavia, then fair enough. Just 50 million just makes my tummy turn. Right then. A lot of signings this January. We could have creativity back in the midfield if we do get Arsene Zakaria and we do get, of course, Joao Felix back up right back. That's going to be a tricky one. Matt Law was speaking on that on the London is Blue podcast on their transfer update. I urge you to go check that out. It's a great show. And, you know, maybe depending on what happens with Datro Fofana, maybe getting another centre forward, certainly a striker is a profile of player we've been talking about. But yeah, Chelsea could end up with 6 or 7 January signings, which is mad. And then there's a lot of players that senior players that you know have to go, and that's the way it is. I think there's a very strong chance Jorginho will go now. Chelsea still want to renew the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Mason Mount. They want to renew his contract. Of course, he's been in poor form this season, you have to say, but they still absolutely want to renew his contract. Kante, it does look like there's an absolutely fluctuating story with N'Golo Kante. We're hearing different things all the time, but it does seem like now we've landed on a positive side. And Matt Law was also saying on this that he believes there'll be a short-term extension for N'Golo Kante, which makes you think maybe it's a 2+1 or a 1+1 or something on I don't know, incentive-based wages or something. But of course, we won't see Kante until March at the end of the season, so maybe they wait and see how he recovers and see what he looks like. But he wants to stay at Chelsea, and it does look like the bigger clubs that he didn't want to go to PSG. He thought maybe he'd like to go to Barcelona, but apparently Barcelona aren't prepared to give him the wages that he'd want to go over there. So it's very, very interesting. And of course, we will react to all the developing stories here. So make sure you subscribe and turn the bell on. And thank you for dropping a like. And I look forward to reading your comments down below. So take care of yourselves. Peace.